Please remain standing for the invocation. At this time, I invite you to bow your heads and pray with me. Our most gracious and heavenly Father, thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather together today. I pray that you will be with us throughout the day as we celebrate the accomplishment of graduating from Calhoun Community College. Thank you for each person in attendance today and for all of our family and friends watching this ceremony online that we wish could have been with us today, but we know that they are here in spirit. God, thank you for putting the desire in each of our hearts to help others. Thank you for the opportunity you gave each of us to attend Calhoun for our studies. Thank you for being with us during every lecture, study session, and exam. Thank you for bringing us to where we are right now. Thank you for every professor that has helped us along this journey and instilled knowledge and confidence within us. Lord, please be with each and every one of my classmates who are seated before me and those that could not be here with us today. I pray strength over each of them. I pray for wisdom and that they will be able to apply the knowledge and skills they've learned to their careers and in life. I pray that you will calm their nerves and let excitement outweigh nervousness as they search for jobs and begin their careers. As we become college graduates today, I pray that you will touch each of us and give us your peace. We invite you to continue to walk with us as we begin this next chapter. Use us, God. Use our hands and feet to serve others. Help us to be able to show love and kindness with every interaction. Thank you again for being with us today and allowing us to gather together. Thank you for your Son, Jesus, and it's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Now be seated.
Well, good evening and welcome to Calhoun Community College's 72nd Annual Commencement Program. I know that many of you are disappointed that your family and friends could not be here in person to celebrate this great accomplishment with you tonight, but I do hope that they are all watching the ceremony through the live stream that can be viewed live by going to calhoun.edu and clicking on the Watch Live link from the main page. So hopefully you inform family and friends that they could see you on the screen this evening. Now, tonight's commencement ceremony is quite different from the previous 71 commencements. I'm sure that it's not what you had hoped for after all of your hard work trust me, this is not the way that we wanted it to be either. But with the recent information from the CDC and the Alabama Department of Public Health, we felt that it's the best way to recognize your accomplishments without causing potential safety issues. Now, I want to assure you that your achievements are just as important as any of those previous in the 71 years. Maybe even more so because you've had to make last-minute adjustments with your classes due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and you've overcome obstacles that previous graduates did not incur. So we're very pleased to have everyone sharing this wonderful occasion with us by live stream to recognize and celebrate our newest Calhoun alumni. Graduates, we're proud of you and all that you've accomplished, and we hope that as you leave to pursue additional educational and career goals, that you will stay in contact with Calhoun. We're always here to assist you in reaching your goals. Friends and family members watching from home, we are grateful to you for the support and encouragement that you have provided to these graduates throughout their journey. Graduates, I would like you to please join me in giving a round of applause of thanks to all your family members and friends who are celebrating you remotely this evening. Look up at that camera and give them a hand. Thank you, family and friends. Whew. All right.
Good evening, class of 2020. My name is Tatiana Rice, and I am the former SGA president of the Huntsville campus. It is such a pleasure and honor to be here to stand before you to introduce our amazing speaker, Chris Frenna. As many of you may know, Chris Frenna is a man of many talents and many accolades. However, before he was a Grammy award-winning musician, producer, and founding member and drummer of 9 Inch Nails, he was just a young man from a small city in Pennsylvania with a passion for music. In 1985, Frenna graduated from McDowell High School, and shortly after, his music career began to take off as he marched with the Thunderbird Drum and Bugle Corps. He then moved to Chicago and quickly became a part of the Chicago industrial music scene, where he was a member of the Die Warzoo and Stabbing Westward for a short period of time. Eventually, in 1988, he connected with Trent Reznor and formed the infamous band 9 Inch Nails. From that point on, the rest was history. They toured the country for over 10 years, selling over 20 million records, and were nominated for 13 Grammy Awards. Frenna and 9 Inch Nails became a huge rock sensation across the globe. Throughout his impressive music career, he has remixed, programmed for numerous international artists, including the likes of U2, Rob Zombie, Weezer, Evanescence, and Slipknot. He is also a well-known video game composer, and his vast portfolio includes American McGee Alice, Doom 3, Quake 4, Call of Duty Exozombie, and Quake Champions. For a few years, he was also a drummer for Gnarls Barkley and also Marilyn Manson. While complications from a torn rotator cuff halted his career as a professional musician, he pursued a new career, a passion for teaching. He has now joined the Calhoun family, and he has been a part of that family since 2017 as the college department head for music technology. With a unique hands-on learning approach, he combined his music industry experiences with music technology education, giving students one of the most realistic introductions to vast worlds of music. Frenna earned a bachelor's degree in education from Kent State University in Ohio and will later return to earn his master's degree in music with an emphasis in music technology in December of 2020. So if you guys could give a warm welcome to our amazing speaker as he makes his way to the podium, it will be greatly appreciated.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I guess I don't need this anymore. It about sums it up. Thank you, Dr. Burke, Dr. Stevenson, and all the faculty and staff who made it out here tonight for not only inviting me to speak to you all tonight, but for also giving me the opportunity to be a faculty member here. It is definitely an honor to be speaking with you on this hot August night. To the graduating class of 2020, you made it. We made it. You have fought through so much to get to this point. You've fought through a worldwide pandemic, the Great Saharan dust cloud, and let's never forget murder hornets. 2020 has been anything but normal this year. As you now know, if you haven't already, I am an instructor and the head of the music technology program at Calhoun, and I'm about to start my third year of teaching. I have no family here in Alabama. I am not from this area at all, and I was counting it out today, I've lived in 7 different states and multiple cities, so the question I get asked by virtually everyone that I meet since I've been here is, how in the world did you end up in Decatur, Alabama? And I used to give some lengthy explanation, but I can boil it down to one word for y'all: life. Life brought me here. And life can take some pretty amazing turns that you may not have ever seen coming, like it has for me. And I'm going to share some of that with you and just think about life for the next little bit. Don't worry, I can be pretty talky. Just ask any of my students if any of them are out there. It's hard to tell with all the masks. But my speech is supposed to be only 10 minutes, so it's not too long. As you also now know, I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania. It's a former steel town in the Rust Belt, right on the Great Lake of Erie. And I always had a love for music, and my father noticed that even at the age of 4 and 5, I would tap or march around the living room to whatever was on the television or radio. And he asked me at 6 if I wanted to start to learn how to play drums, to which I said yes. So I just knew from a very early age that music and drumming is what I wanted to do. I took lessons, I played in the orchestra, I was in musical theater, I was in marching band. If your music needed drums, I was the guy. Every Christmas service, I was the little drummer boy, called Rum-Pa-Pum-Pum, every Christmas. And I also was playing in punk rock and new wave bands. I remember this was the 80s. So I'm a little old. My dad would actually drive me to the bar in our old Buick Century station wagon. He used to joke that he would have had a sports car if I would have picked a smaller instrument, but because it was drums, he had to buy a station wagon. And so he would sit at the bar and wait for me to play until the show was over to drive me back home. Because I was only 14 or 15, I was never allowed to stay in the bar and see any of the other bands play, because I was just way too young. But I loved it, and I just knew this was all I was ever going to need. All of my decisions were going to be based upon this becoming my life. See where we're going here? So after I graduated high school, there was a lot of not friendly debate with my parents because I wanted to just pursue music, and they wanted me to go to college. And I ended up going to college at a place called Kent State in Kent, Ohio. It's immortalized in the famous song "For Dead in Ohio" by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and it's about 30 minutes south of Cleveland, Ohio. It was convenient, and it was a good compromise because I could get an education, but I could also play in my synth band up in Cleveland with my friend Trent Reznor, who I had met while I was still in high school. That way I could do both things, and we were in a band in Cleveland called the Exotic Birds. Again, 80s, just think of the hair. And anyway, I'm just picturing my hair, it's really funny. Google that. So eventually this band broke up and started new music that was eventually what became Nine Inch Nails. And I almost made it through college before the band hit it big. And I had 18 credit hours left, as it turned out. And I thought, I'm never going to need that. Not now. And off we went. So international fame, gold records, Grammy on the mantle. A decade later, things all of a sudden weren't so perfect. And that life I thought I wanted all of a sudden wasn't what I thought it was going to be. and it had changed. So I had a huge life decision to make. And so I decided to quit the band and move out to Los Angeles, where I lived for almost 20 years. Started a whole new life. That's where the video games came in, the Doom 3 and Quake. I was briefly in Guns N' Roses for a few months. That was a pretty weird few months, if you must ask. I worked with Smashing Pumpkins. I was a drummer in Gnarls Barkley. I did work in the studio with U2, Hole, Green Day, you name it. So it was an exciting life, but it was a whole new life. And giving up that former life with Nine Inch Nails was really scary. Giving up something that you thought was like going to be the end all to your life. And then I did all that, and I ended up at Marilyn Manson as the producer, engineer, live drummer, and live keyboard player for about 7 or 8 years. But then once again, life happened, and life took me down a totally different path in 2013. By this time, I had already quit Manson. I was struggling both personally and professionally now at this point. And what was to become the end of my drumming career, I tore a rotator cuff. Oddly enough, not drumming. I was actually in the gym lifting weights, and it just ripped. And it needed surgery. I had to rebuild the whole thing. I needed physical therapy for a year. So now what? What life was I like? What life was I going to have? Like, was my former life completely over? What would my life become? So at the same time, during this period, I'd started volunteering at an after-school arts club in Hollywood for at-risk youth that a friend of mine asked me to do for him. And I was also flown out a couple times to guest lecture at a small arts college in Wisconsin. That school in Wisconsin actually happened to call to invite me back about a week before my surgery, to which I had to turn it down because of that. And then they said, well, what are you going to do? They asked me, what am I going to do with my life since I couldn't drum or go on tour for like at least a year? And I don't want to tell them this. I can tell you guys now, but inside I was thinking that exact same thing. I'm like, what am I going to do? And man, I was scared. I've never been that scared in my life. I had no idea where I was going. So long story short, they called back a day later and said, you know what? You do a pretty good job when you come here. How would you like to try teaching full time? And they offered me a 1-year teaching contract to move to Wisconsin and try it. I had never formally taught, and I had now yet another huge life decision to make. Stay in LA and continue what I was fighting to do, or risk it all, move cross country for a fresh start and a new career I had absolutely no training in. So Melissa and I, she's my partner, we talked at length and made the decision to take the job and move and try it. As it turned out, I absolutely loved teaching and I'm pretty good at it. So remember just a few minutes ago when I said I had quit college when Nine Inch Nails got to big time? Well, you can't really become a college professor without a degree. So 26 years later, I call Kent State and say, yeah, I was a student from 86 to like 90. And they were like, what? And it took them days to go dig into the basement and find paper records of my transcripts and my catalog from 1986 when I started college. And they looked me up, and I had those 18 credit hours I had to finish. So I did it all online, got my BS. And as I stand here right now, I'm only 6 credits shy of my master's. I'll have that, and I'll graduate this December. So if my parents were alive, they both sadly passed, but they would have said, see, I told you needed that college education. And here they would have been right all along, you know. And I wish they were, because it would just make their day, you know. What an experience to have to admit to your parents that they were right about something, right? Like, you don't want to have to go and say, Mom, Dad, you were right, you know, even at my age. So I hope they're happy up in heaven. So this whole thing, you know, all right, so this is maybe an entertaining story I've laid out for you now, but how is it at all relevant to all of you sitting here tonight? Sometimes we decide we need to fight for something, whether it be a cause or a job or a love or a career, a college degree. Sometimes you just have to fight through it. But other times, you have to make that decision to surrender, to leave a job, to leave a career, leave a relationship for the hope of something better out there for you. And then at other times, you may decide you must compromise with the people around you for the betterment of everyone involved. All of these are acceptable. All of these are decisions. I've made all three of them in my little speech here and throughout my life. And I was thinking about it when I was writing this, and there's no real right or wrong when making your own personal decisions about your life. They're your decisions, and they're yours alone to make. It's your life. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's horrifying. Some decisions are huge you're going to have to make. Some are tiny. But each and every decision, but each and every decision is life-altering in some form or another. Every decision you have made in your lives thus far has directed your path to end up right here, right now, sitting in this room graduating. Graduation will lead you to future paths throughout your life. Some of your paths may already be well paved and marked, like I thought mine was when I was playing rock and roll. Some of you may be walking around with a machete in hand, and you're cutting your own path as you go, and you don't even know where it's going to go right now. You're just going to cut your way through it and see where it leads. But if there's one thing we've all learned in 2020, is that none of us can predict anything about the future and what it holds for our lives. I wish you nothing but the best for all of you in your life. And congratulations, class of 2020, and thank you for having me.
President Burke, faculty, families, and friends, before I present tonight's candidates for graduation, I would like to take a moment to recognize the faculty and staff whose dedication and talent have made Calhoun such a strong and effective institution. Representatives of the faculty and staff are sitting up in the bleachers or working on the floor. Please join me in thanking them for their hard work. Tonight's candidates will be awarded either an associate degree, an Associate of Applied Science degree, or a certificate. Several of tonight's candidates will be receiving multiple awards, but only the highest award earned will be announced. Please refer to the graduation program for the listing of individual majors and awards. Some of these candidates have distinguished themselves by qualifying for degrees and certificates with honors. To attain this academic achievement, these students have maintained a grade point average of 3.5 or higher. You will notice some of the candidates are wearing special regalia. A detailed description of various honor cords and stoles and what they represent is outlined on the last page of the graduation program. As Chief Instructional Officer, it is my privilege to report that the candidates assembled here have qualified or will qualify for certificates or degrees by successfully completing the requirements for graduation. Mr. President, the faculty and I recommend these graduating candidates to you and request that you confer upon them the appropriate award.
Graduates, would you please rise for the conferring of degrees? Upon recommendation of the faculty and the Vice President of Academic Affairs, by the authority vested in me by the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees and the Chancellor, I confer upon you the degrees, diplomas, and certificates which you have earned. I declare that you are the 72nd graduating class of Calhoun Community College. Graduates, you may move your tassels to the left-hand side as you cross the stage. Gotcha. All right. Will the first row please move to where you're directed? That way. Yeah, the remainder can sit, I guess, for right now.
Tonight's candidates will be called out in alphabetical order. They are being awarded Associate of Science degrees, Associate of Applied Science degrees, and certificates. The Associate of Science degree is the award conferred on students who wish to transfer to a four-year institution and pursue a bachelor's degree. Students graduating with an associate's degree can transfer with junior status into a variety of majors at public colleges and universities in Alabama or anywhere else. The Associate of Applied Science degree is the award conferred on students who wish to complete 2 years of education at the community college level and then enter the workforce. While many courses taken in this program will transfer, the degree is not designed as a transfer degree. A certificate is the award conferred on students who wish to train or retrain in a specific field or skills and enter or re-enter the workforce with a new or more advanced skill set.
Tia Addy, Associate in Science, General Studies, magna cum laude. Amer Adafari, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Aerospace Technology, Structures, and Assembly. Nicole Alili, Associate in Science, General Studies. Bailey Emmons, Associate in Science, General Studies. Scott Emmons, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration. Stephen Miles Anderson, Associate in Science, General Studies. Rebecca Aswell, Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist, Assistant. Kensworth Bailey, Associate in Science, General Studies. Michael Adam Bailey, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Aerospace Technology, Structures, and Assembly. Sarah Elizabeth Bain, Associate in Applied Science, Dental Assisting. Francisco Bartolome, Associate in Science, General Studies. Jada Danielle Bates, Associate in Science, General Studies. Hector Becerra, Associate in Science, General Studies, magna cum laude. Sandy Celia Beltran, Certificate, Emergency Medical Technician, Basic. Basil Annis Berchekis, Jr., Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Accounting. Grant Austin Blakely, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Information Systems, Cybersecurity. Ashley Elizabeth Bracken, Associate in Science, General Studies. Adam Joseph Brannon, Associate in Science, General Studies. Tacey Lorraine Buckman, Associate in Science, General Studies, magna cum laude. Kristen Burke, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician, magna cum laude. Cassandra Lynn Burks, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing. Alexis Lachey Burns, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Welding. Anastasia Igorevna Bieryak. Is that right? Oh, I hope that's right. Let's do it again. Anastasia Igorevna Bieryak, Associate in Science, General Studies. Sarah Renee Bush, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration. Leah Byington, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing, summa cum laude. Brianna Rebecca Chavez, Associate in Science, General Studies. Gong Mei Chen, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Accounting, magna cum laude. Bailey Childers, Associate in Science, General Studies. Emily Rose Churchill, Associate in Science, General Studies, magna cum laude. Edelo Clark, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician. Quentin Kuhl, Associate in Science, General Studies. Sean Tyler Cox, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Graphics, Animation. Samantha Allison Cronin, Associate in Applied Science, Dental Assisting. Christian Leanne Darnell, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician. Jeremiah Christopher Davis, Certificate, Advanced Manufacturing, Welding Technology. Laney Renee Davis, Associate in Applied Science, Visual Communication, Graphic Design, cum laude. Susan Maria Davis, Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist Assistant, cum laude. Waikiki Janae Davis, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician. Amanda Michelle Douglas, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing. Balin Lee Dover, Associate in Science, General Studies. Stevie Nicole Dunn, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Design Drafting, Additive Manufacturing, summa cum laude. Hunter Paul Elkins, Associate in Science, General Studies. Savannah Lynn Embry, Associate in Applied Science, Dental Assisting. Morgan Ray Engel, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician, summa cum laude. Jessica Etheridge, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Adrian Felix Ferrales, Associate in Science, General Studies. Jamin Shalom Flint, Associate in Science, General Studies. Crystal Lynn Fontaine, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Information Systems, Cybersecurity. Cameron Dante Ford, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Information Systems, Networking Technology. Brittany Richardson Franks, Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist Assistant. Austin Lee Funkhauser, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Process Technology, magna cum laude. Marquise Gators, Associate in Science, General Studies. Aaliyah Dominique Gibson Slater, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Paralegal. Carlos Andres Gonzalez, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Machine Tool, Technology. Micaiah Janae Good, Associate in Science, General Studies. Brian Dell Goss, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Robotics, Mechatronics, magna cum laude. Jackson David Gowan, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Industrial Maintenance, Electrical. Cassidy Ladina Graves, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician, magna cum laude. Heather N. Gray, Associate in Science, General Studies. Savannah Marlene Griffin, Associate in Applied Science, Child Development. Ashley Nicole Grooms, Associate in Applied Science, Dental Assisting. Heather Ann Gunter, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Moreno Hobbits, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Machine Tool Technology. Rahama Halek, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Dalton Levi Hall, Associate in Science, General Studies, Summa Cum Laude, Presidential Honors Scholar. Rena Michaela Hames, Associate in Science, General Studies. Caitlin Nicole Hannah, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Kayla Elizabeth Hardiman, Associate in Science, General Studies. Taja Monet Head, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Lindsay Christian Hendricks, Associate in Science, General Studies, Cum Laude. An Q Hong Win, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing. Tyler Richard Haft, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Aerospace Technology, Structures, and Assembly. Sarah Caitlin Hollingshead, Associate in Science, General Studies. Deschalet Debria Hollis, Associate in Science, General Studies. Andre Rashawn Holt, Associate in Science, General Studies. Brianna Faith Holt, Associate in Science, General Studies. Kevin Pulsey, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Aerospace Technology, Structures, and Assembly. Veronica Hyder, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Rebecca Ann Ingram, Associate in Science, General Studies. Natalie Cheyenne Jackson, Associate in Science, General Studies. Olivia Rose Jacobson, Associate in Applied Science, Medical Laboratory Technician. Leslie Kayla James, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Tevin DeMonte Jefferson, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Design, Drafting, Engineering. Mackenzie Lynn Jenkins, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Graphics, Graphic Design. Jasmine Nate Jerkins, Associate in Science, General Studies. Brandon Thomas Johns, Associate in Science, General Studies. Sarah Ashley Johns, Associate in Science, General Studies.
Tatiana Shanique Jones, Associate in Science, General Studies. Rebecca Diane Kirkland, Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist Assistant, magna cum laude. Jessica Kathleen Knox, Associate in Science, General Studies. Morgan Elizabeth Lands, Associate in Science, General Studies, summa cum laude, Presidential Honors Scholar. Matthew LaRue Larry, Associate in Science, General Studies. Clarence Enos Leavings III, Associate in Science, General Studies. Christopher Paul Logston, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing Technology, magna cum laude. Jennifer Lynn, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Design Drafting, Additive Manufacturing. Whitney Nashay Marshall, Associate in Applied Science, Child Development. Megan Brooke Martin, Associate in Science, General Studies. Tracy Lynn Martin, Associate in Science, General Studies. Julia Josephina Matzer Mendoza, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Design Drafting, Architectural. Patience McDonald, Associates in Science, General Studies. Andrew Anakin McElroy, Associate in Science, General Studies. Gabriella McKinney, Associate in Applied Science, Child Development. Taylor Nicole Mickey, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Aerospace Technology, Structures and Assembly, magna cum laude. Christopher Glenn Mitchell, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Welding. Cindy Marlowe Mitchell, Associate in Science, General Studies, cum laude. Jenna Lynn Mitchell, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration. Wilma Jean Moore, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing. Candace Lee Morgan, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Information Systems, Cybersecurity, cum laude. Lou Ann Morgan, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Megan Wynn Morrison, Associate in Science, General Studies. Rachel Elizabeth Nakase, Associate in Science, General Studies. Destiny Dawn Nichols, Associate in Science, General Studies. Tracia Brianna Nobles, Associate in Science, General Studies. Carl Edward Noyes, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Information Systems, Information Assurance, Cyber Defense, magna cum laude. Chanel Dante Owens Carroll, Associate in Science, General Studies. Keindi Omabola Oyedirni, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Kayla Nicole Parham, Associate in Science, General Studies. Chelsea Marie Patton, Associate in Science, General Studies. Deja Danielle Patton, Associate in Science, General Studies, cum laude. Ileana Trinidad Pena, Associate in Science, General Studies. Langley Elizabeth Polk, Certificate, Emergency Medical Technician Basic with distinction. Jenna Nicole Price, Associate in Applied Science, Visual Communication, Graphic Design, magna cum laude. Jacob Brendan Pryor, Associate in Science, General Studies. Chase Matthew Rader, Associate in Science, General Studies. Alexis Brianna Ransom, Associate in Science, General Studies. Tatiana Ali Rice, Associate in Science, General Studies, cum laude, Presidential Honors Scholar. Jessica Terrell Reichard, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing. Anthony Rodriguez, Associate in Science, General Studies, cum laude. Itzia Rosales, Associate in Science, General Studies. Raven Samaya Sales, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Caroline Catrice Scott, Associate in Science, General Studies. Kimberly Sorato Labra, Certificate, Emergency Medical Technician, Basic, with distinction. Jeffrey Stephen Shellhart, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Electrical Technology. Autumn Marie Shelton, Associate in Science, General Studies, cum laude. Julia Nicole Shelton, Associate in Applied Science, Visual Communication, Graphic Design, magna cum laude. Terry Allison Shirley, Associate in Science, General Studies. Brittany Gabrielle Sims, Associate in Science, General Studies. Timothy Allen Singleton, Certificate, Advanced Manufacturing, Electrical Technology, with distinction. Demetrius Delante Smart, Associate in Science, General Studies. Antria Kevon Michelle Smith, Associate in Science, General Studies. Emily Caroline Smith, Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist Assistant, cum laude. Kara Isabella Smith, Associate in Science, General Studies. Marin Rothwell Stouch, Associate in Science, General Studies. James Paul Stevens, Jr., Associate in Science, General Studies, magna cum laude. Michaela Marie Sutherland, Associate in Science, General Studies, summa cum laude. Shauna Swinford, Associate in Science, General Studies. Frederick Terrell Tate II, Associate in Science, General Studies. Latoria Patrice Thomas, Associate in Applied Science, Nursing. Amberly Mae Tilking, Associate in Applied Science, Dental Assisting. Adrian Edward Tiggs, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Graphics, Graphic Design. Jonathan Michael Tyndall, Associate in Science, General Studies. Michaela Page Tomeno, Associate in Science, General Studies. Gloria Cecile Trapane, Certificate, Computer Information Systems, Programming Essentials. Caitlin Nicole Trainum, Associate in Science, General Studies. Jamie Anthony Tucker, Associate in Science, General Studies. Jessica Lynn Urban, Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist Assistant, magna cum laude. Olivia Dale Van, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Victoria Lynn Varnado, Associate in Applied Science, Surgical Technology. Mario Jonathan Vega, Associate in Science, General Studies. Tiffany Marie Von Tunglen, Associate in Science, General Studies, summa cum laude. Latasia Shanice Walker, Associate in Science, General Studies, cum laude. Ladacia Tatiana Nicole Ward, Associate in Applied Science, Visual Communication, 3D Modeling and Animation. Janice Deshay Washington, Associate in Science, General Studies. Amira Jalen Wasi, Associate in Science, General Studies. Andrea Wisnat, Associate in Science, General Studies. Derek Glenn Wilkins, Associate in Applied Science, Advanced Manufacturing, Welding. Jenna Elizabeth Wright, Associate in Science, General Studies. Bailey Michaela Yale, Associate in Applied Science, Computer Graphics, Electronic Imaging. And the last member of our 2020 commencement, Jin Li Zhong, Associate in Science, General Studies.
As we conclude our program for this evening, I would like to recognize our stage guests. We have with us to my right our Vice President for Student Services, Dr. Patricia Wilson. You have heard from our keynote speaker, Chris Verena, and we have Dr. Alan Stevenson, our Vice President for Academic Services. Also, we would like to thank the graduation committee led by Carla Swinney for such an excellent job with setting this up. Thank you, Carla and committee. Wes Terrain and the media department for the excellent job with the live streaming. Faculty, we thank you for your presence here this evening. And there's staff who have volunteered their time this evening to be with us, and we appreciate so much the time you've given to make this evening the huge success that it is. Don't want to forget the facilities department as well, who has arranged things so well for us this evening. So with that, thank you, of course, to our students for bearing with us as we navigate these trying times, and thank you to the family and friends who joined us by live stream this evening. We hope that everyone remains safe, continues to wear face coverings, and practice social distancing. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
This is the most recent nursing class at Calhoun Community College. None of them knew the immediate challenge they would face, but here they are. Like many who graduated before them, most are in hospitals, caring for patients and helping stop the spread of the coronavirus. We at Calhoun Community College salute everyone in healthcare, first responders, and all of those on the front lines, helping our friends, families, and our community. To all of you, thank you for what you do.